Oh, rise and shine, everybody. Sorry, you're too short. I can't really get you in without losing the lake.
Rosie made this.
We just left Heft State Park. I got to use my butt pillow last night that we bought at Walmart yesterday to cushion my butt so it doesn't hurt so bad. And we've come across this scenic turnout. We're on our way to not Charlevoix, Cheboygan? Charlevoix or Cheboygan? I'm not sure, one or the other. For breakfast.
And Rosie made this turn.
Apparently Rosie made this scenic turnout. Very nice though, very nice view. It doesn't look like it does it any justice in the camera. But looks really nice from where we're at. Today we're heading up towards Mackinaw City, going to Wilderness State Park. We got a couple fun stops scheduled along the way. I'm exhausted, my hair's a mess. Camp hair, don't care. So yeah, well, just wanted to do a short introduction. Make sure, if you haven't already, like us, give us a subscribe to our page. We still got a lot more videos coming. This trip's not even halfway over yet. There's where we ate breakfast today in Cheboygan. Right there, Alice's restaurant. Pretty good stuff. Aria really liked her French toast there, and I had a good country omelet.
Stop car, stop driving. Remember camera.
We're gonna stop at this little roadside park after our breakfast in Cheboygan. So you can see the Mackinac Bridge down there. We almost made it to it. And I believe that's the Mackinac Island out there. I believe that white building in the center of the frame, I believe, is the Grand Hotel. We're at Old Mill Creek. For those that would like to read about the history of this place, go ahead and pause that for the top half of the sign. And there's for the bottom half of the sign. You get ready to run a marathon? I don't know where she gets this energy from. Yeah, my little Olympic runner. Look how big that saw is. Yeesh.
And we can begin to work on it. So, we want to grab our, what axe? Felling axe, very good. And we want to start by scoring the log. We're making a series of cuts going down its length. What this does is it breaks up those long fibers of the tree, that grain that goes from the base of the trunk all the way out to the tips of the branches. That allows us to get a more controlled cut with our next tool. Okay, that's enough of that. So you make a notch every 8 to 10 inches going down its length. But we're trying to make a beam, have a flat side. And to get that, we need a different tool. We need one of these. Now, this axe, you may have noticed, has a very wide or broad cutting edge, which is why it's called a broad axe. Now this one's actually called either a Philadelphia pattern or a Pennsylvania pattern broad axe. Again, very common in the middle of the 19th century. You can still find them easily today. Now, besides having this very wide or broad edge, if you look at this bevel, it's only on one side. The back is completely flat. It's like a giant chisel. Not only that, if you look at the handle on it, it's bent. It goes off to one side. And that's because we'll be using this axe along the side of the log. If it had a straight handle, we'll take a nice hefty swing. There's a chance we could hit our hand on the side of that log. It's a great way to break a finger. And so, that's the broad axe. We score the log, and then we chop it off. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so you do that the full length of the log. You flip it, you do it again. And again, until you get all four sides done. And what you're left with is a beam, a hewn beam, kind of like this one. Now that's great. You can use that to build the framework of a house or a barn. But if you want to have floors, walls, and a roof, you really need to have boards. And the best way to get boards before a sawmill is actually with a pit saw. It's a two-person process. You have one person who's actually in a hole that your hewn beam is rolled over, and their job is to pull down on that blade, time after time. And that's where the saw is actually doing the work, because if you look at the teeth on that blade, they're all angled downward. So that's the cutting stroke. Not only is the person down in the pit getting sweaty from that repetitive motion, they're also getting covered in sawdust and anything else that might fall into the pit. Hopefully not the person on top. That person, their job is to actually pull up on that blade, resetting it for the next cut, and steering it to get straight cuts. And so the person who's steering it, kind of like you would steer a boat with its tiller, is called the tiller man. Anyone want to take a guess what the person down in the pit's called?
Pitman.
The pit man, that's right. Another one of those creative names. Yeah. Okay, so up and down. And up and down. Up, down. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it all the way down. Well done. Let's give him a round of applause, everybody. A good crew that knows what they're doing could cut about 12 to 14 boards in a day. That's a rough estimate. There's a lot of variables involved, but that equates to about a board every 45 minutes to an hour. So it doesn't sound that bad if you think about it, all that work you're doing, until you realize that a barn like that has over 150 boards on it. So you're looking at something like 10 days to 2 weeks, and a whole lot of effort just to get those building supplies together. Yet this is how they were making Fort Mitchell and Mackinac back in the day, using tools and techniques like this. So that's why in about 1790, we get our first mention of Robert Campbell. Turns out he came to this area and decided to build a sawmill. And so what we'll do now is actually raise that sluice gate. We'll have that water come rushing in. When you hear it overflow, we know we can begin cutting. Quiet, make it loud. That's what we want to hear. So let's open up that quick gate. Let's lower this arm. kind of see how it's trying to lift up that head block. The wedges that hold it in place, so we're pinching against the blade until we put a wedge after we make our tuck. Now, what you just saw in here was really only half of the mill operation. Because by being inside, you're able to see the footer wheel, the tub wheel, the lanyard gear, and the pitman arm. So if you would like to see all of those in action, I would recommend you make your way out of this mill, go back across the bridge, take a right down the stairs. I'll speak to you through this window and we'll run the mill again.
That was really fast. Made it to Wilderness State Park. However, we got here at 2 o'clock and they're not letting us check in until 3. So, we're at the beach. Fun time. Until we can check into our campsite in an hour.